Hello everyone, I'm Sara and welcome back to my crochet channel. Today's video is our November stitch of the month, and the stitch of the month that we're going to learn together today is called the pine tree stitch. The neat thing about this pattern is when you look this direction, you can see the triangles that make up the pine trees. If you take it and turn it this direction, you can see the open triangles that look like pine trees without their pine needles. So it has a really lacy open look to it, and it still looks like pine trees. Isn't that beautiful? So what I've done with our stitch this month is made a Christmas style table runner. Now, this is done in a variegated yarn. This is just Peaches and Cream in cotton, Christmas variegated. But it's also a really great pattern if you have, say, a lodge theme or a mountain theme. You do this all in different shades of maybe green or green ombres, and you get another style that still is a pine tree stitch. And so it does work for Christmas, and it also works for other applications as well. Now you can use this stitch for a scarf or a cowl, and like this one, I'm using it as a table runner. I made it nice and long to go across my coffee table in my living room, and then I can put some of my Christmas decorations with it, as you saw in the pictures at the beginning of the video. Now you can find the complete written pattern for this pattern stitch, as well as, of course, the table runner. You can also find the multiples of how to adjust the pattern on that same blog, and it also has a step-by-step picture tutorial as well. And as always, I'll put that blog link down in the notes underneath this video in that description box. To make the table runner, you're going to need approximately 6 ounces or about 200 yards. And again, I stitched this one with Peaches and Cream cotton in the Christmas variegated yarn. Sometimes variegated is hard to see on camera, and so I'm going to use this color here. This is called Pine Green. It is a Red Heart Super Saver acrylic yarn. So you can use a cotton or an acrylic yarn for this project, as long as you're using a medium weight number 4 yarn. All right, and you need approximately 6 ounces. We're going to be stitching today with our eye hook. This is a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. You'll need a needle just for weaving in ends, and of course, a pair of scissors. We're going to begin with our slip knot, and we're going to chain 44 chains. Now remember to chain this beginning chain just a little bit loose, because you don't want the bottom of your table runner to pucker up on you. All right, so we're going to stitch 44 chains loosely. I have chained my 44 chains just a little bit loose. And we're going to begin by placing a double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. Our chain 3 counts as 1 double crochet, and then we stitched a second double crochet. Now we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to skip 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and single crochet in the next chain. And chain 4. We're going to skip the next 4 chains again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and stitch 3 double crochets in the next chain. 1, 2, and 3. Now we'll chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and single crochet in the next chain. And again, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and stitch 3 double crochets in the next chain. 1, 2, 3. Now we'll chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and single crochet in that next chain. And we'll repeat that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4 chains, skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, single, oops, not single, 3 double crochets in the next chain. 1, 2, and 3. Now we'll chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and single crochet in the next chain. We'll chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in this last chain we'll stitch 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. So for our first row, we started with 2 double crochets because we began in the 4th chain from the hook, and our chain 3 counts as 1. Chain 4, skip 4, single crochet in the next, chain 4, skip 4, and then 3 double crochets in the next chain. And then we repeated that 2 more times. And then we ended with chain 4, skip 4, single crochet, chain 4, skip 4, and then 2 double crochets in our last stitch. And that's the way that row 1 should look. All right, we're going to do row 2. So we're going to begin with our chain 3. This chain 3 counts as 1 double crochet. We're going to turn our work, and we're going to stitch 2 double crochets in this next double crochet. Now we'll chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet in this next single crochet, and chain 3, 1, 2, 3. This brings us to our first group of 3 double crochets. We're going to stitch 2 double crochets in the first double crochet, 1 and 2. Then we'll stitch 1 in that center double crochet and 2 in that third double crochet. So we chained 3, single crocheted in the single crochet, chained 3, 2 double crochets in that first double crochet, 1 in the center, and 2 in that third double crochet of that group. Now we're going to repeat this across. Chain 3, single crochet in the single crochet, and chain 3. We'll come to our second group of 3 double crochets, and we'll stitch 2 in the first one, 1 in the next one, and 2 in that third one. And chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet in the next single crochet, and chain 3. And then we'll repeat this on these 3 double crochets that we did earlier. 2 double crochets in the first one, 1 in the next one, and 2 in that third double crochet. And see how we increased on these 3 from 3 to 5. All right, so now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet in that single crochet, and chain 3. That brings us to the 2 double crochets on the end. So we're going to place 2 double crochets in the first one, and 1 double crochet in that last double crochet. And this is the way that row 2 should look. We have 3 double crochets, chain 3, single crochet, and 3 chains. And then we increased our 3 double crochets to 5, and then we repeated this 2 more times, and then we end with our 3 chains, single crochet, 3 chains, and then 3 double crochets on the end. Now we're ready to stitch up row 3. We're going to chain 3 and turn our work. We'll double crochet in the next double crochet, and then we'll stitch 2 double crochets in that next double crochet. Chain 2, and now we're going to double crochet in that single crochet, and chain 2. The first 2 rows we stitch single crochet. On the third row we're stitching a double crochet, and then chain 2, and this brings us to our group of 5 double crochets. So we're going to stitch 2 double crochets in that first one, 1, 2. We'll stitch 1 double crochet in the next 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then stitch 2 double crochets in this last stitch of these 5 double crochets. So now we went from 3 to 5 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double crochets for that group. All right, and now we're going to repeat it 2 more times. Chain 2, double crochet in the single crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochets in the first double crochet of this next group, 1 double crochet in the next 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 double crochets in that last double crochet of that group. You can see the trees forming this way and the open trees forming this way. All right, let's repeat that one more time. 1, 2, double crochet in the single crochet, and 1, 2 chains. 2 double crochets in that first double crochet of this next group, 1 double crochet in the next 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then 2 double crochets in that last double crochet of that group. Chain 2, double crochet in the single crochet, chain 2, and then that brings us to those 3 double crochets at the end of our row. So we're going to stitch 2 double crochets in that first one, 1 and 2, and then 1 double crochet in those last 2 double crochets. This is the way that row 3 should look. We have 4 double crochets, chain 2, we double crocheted in the single crochet and chain 2. Then we have 7 double crochets. So we repeated this twice, and then we ended with chain 2, double crochet, chain 2, and then 4 double crochets at the end. All right, we're going to do row 4. We're going to begin with a chain 3 again, which counts as a double crochet. Turn our work, 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then 2 double crochets in this 4th double crochet. And we're going to chain 1. And we're going to move over here to our group of double crochets. We'll stitch 2 double crochets in the first stitch, 1, 2, then we'll stitch 1 double crochet in each of the double crochets across, there we go. Now we're to our last double crochet of this group, and we're going to stitch 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. We'll go ahead and chain 1. So we stitch 2 double crochets in this first one, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 in each of the next 5, and then 2 double crochets in the last. Chain 1 and repeat. 2 double crochets in the next double crochet, 1 double crochet in the next 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then 2 in that last of that group, 1 and 2, and chain 1. And we'll repeat that one more time. 2 in the first, 1 in each of the next 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then 2 in the next, which is the last of that group. Chain 1 brings us to our last 4 double crochets on this row. So we'll stitch 2 double crochets in the first one, 1, 2, and then 1 in each of those last 3, 1, 2, and 3. All right. I think you can see how those trees are just popping out at us. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 1, 9 double crochets, chain 1, 9 double crochets, chain 1, 9 double crochets, chain 1, and then we end with 5 double crochets for row 4. Now for row 5, we're only going to chain 1 and turn instead of chaining 3. And we're going to stitch a single crochet in this first double crochet and chain 4. Now this brings us over here to our chain 1 space. And in this chain 1 space, we're going to stitch 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Chain 4. We're going to skip the next 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and stitch a single crochet in that double crochet. And chain 4. Now we move over to our next chain 1 space and stitch 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 4, skip 4, single crochet in the next double crochet, and chain 4. We'll do this one more time. 3 double crochets in the chain 1 space. 1, 2, 3. Chain 4, skip 4, single crochet in the next double crochet, and chain 4. And now this brings us to our last chain 1 space, and so we're going to stitch 3 double crochets in that last chain 1 space. We're going to chain 4, and single crochet in that last double crochet. All right, now let's take a look at this. We started with a single crochet, chain 4, 3 double crochets in the chain 1 space. Chain 4, skip 4 double crochets, and single crochet in that next double crochet. And then we repeated that 1, 2, 3 times. And we ended up with chain 4 and a single crochet in our last double crochet. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 sets where we have our chain 4, 3 double crochets, chain 4 with that single crochet in the center. All right, for row 6, we're going to chain 1 just like we did on row 5. We're going to turn our work and single crochet in this first single crochet. Chain 3. And this brings us to that group of 3 double crochets. We'll stitch 2 in the first one, 1 in the center, and 2 double crochets in that third double crochet of that group. Chain 3. We'll single crochet in the single crochet and chain 3. Now this brings us to our next group of 3, and we'll repeat what we just did. 2 double crochets in the first, 1 double crochet in the center double crochet, and 2 double crochets in the third of that group. Chain 3, single crochet in the single crochet, and chain 3. And so now this brings us to our next set of 3 double crochets. So we'll stitch 2 in the first, 1 and 2, 1 in the center, and 2 in the last of those 3, and chain 3. Single crochet in the single crochet, and chain 3. And then we have one more set of 3 double crochets. So 2 double crochets in that first double crochet, 1 in the center, and 2 in the last of those 3. 1 and 2, chain 3, and single crochet in that last single crochet. And this is the way that row 6 should look. All right, now we're going to do row 7, and we're going to chain 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These 5 chains count as a double crochet, chain 2. We're going to turn our work, and we'll come to our first double crochet of our group of 5 here and stitch 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. 1 double crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, and 3, and 2 double crochets in that last double crochet. 1 and 2. Now we're going to chain 2 and double crochet in the single crochet and chain 2. Now we'll go to our next set of 5 double crochets. 2 double crochets in the first, 1 double crochet in the next 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 double crochets in the last of that group, chain 2, and double crochet in the single crochet and chain 2. And then we'll repeat this again. Chain 2, double crochet in the double crochet, and chain 2. And we'll do this in the last set of those 5 double crochets. There's our last 2 double crochets in that set of 5. And now we're going to chain 2 and double crochet in that single crochet. And see how that looks? We have our chain 5 that counts as a double crochet, chain 2. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double crochets, chain 2, double crochet, chain 2, and then we repeated that twice. And then here's our 7 double crochets, chain 2, and then double crochet in the single crochet. Now for row 8, we're going to chain 3 and turn our work. We're going to go to our first set of our 7 double crochet group, and we'll stitch 2 double crochets in that first one, 1 and 2, and then 1 double crochet in the next 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then 2 double crochets in that last double crochet and chain 1. Then we'll move to our next set of 7 and stitch 2 double crochets in the first, 1 double crochet in the next 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 in the last double crochet of that group, chain 1, and then we'll repeat that 2 more times. And then once you've repeated that, you're going to chain 1, and then we're going to stitch a double crochet in the 3rd chain, 1, 2, 3 of that chain 5. And this is the way that row 8 should look. You can see we've got like a half a tree on this side, and we've got the 4 solid trees. We've got 3 of the open trees, and then a half a tree on this side. I pulled the camera up just a little bit more so that you could get a better idea of what this should look like after your 8th row. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 open pine trees, and then the other ones 1, 2, 3 and a half on each side. And then on this set you've got 3 of your open pine trees with a half and half, and then 4 of the solid. I'm going to show you this because I like it both ways. This is the way it looks when they're facing this way. You have your solid pine trees, and then when it's facing this way you have those open trees, and that's why I think this pattern is so pretty. All right, we're going to do one more row to show you how to set up this row, and then we'll talk about the repeats of this pattern. All right, so for row 9, you're going to chain 3 and turn your work. You'll double crochet in that first double crochet and chain 4. You'll skip the next 4 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and single crochet in that next double crochet and chain 4. Then you'll go to the chain 1 space and stitch 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 4. Skip 4 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and single crochet in this next single crochet and chain 4. 3 double crochets in the chain 1 space, 1, 2, and 3, and chain 4. Skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet in the next double crochet, and 1, 2, 3, 4 chains. And so what we're doing here is setting up this row the way we did this one on the chain so that you can do the repeats. All right, 3 double crochets in the chain 1 space, 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet in that next double crochet, 2, 3, 4 chains, and then this brings us to this chain 3 that counts as a double crochet, and we're going to stitch 2 double crochets in that stitch. And so now you're all ready to repeat these rows. And so to make the table runner, you're going to need to repeat row 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 4 more times. And that will get you the length that you need. Now, if you want your table runner to be longer, you can repeat row 2 through 9 as many times as you would want to. Or if you want it shorter, do less repeats. And that will end you on a row 9. And then you'll need to repeat row 2, row 3, and row 4 one more time so it ends you on a solid row. So just to repeat, so that you understand what we're doing, is you're repeating row 2 through row 9 4 more times. Once you have repeated that 4 more times, you need to repeat row 2, 3, and 4 one more time so that you end on a solid row. You don't want to end on your row 9. You want to end on a solid row. Once you have made the length of your table runner as long as you would like it, and you end on a nice solid row, the only thing that I did was add a single row of evenly stitched single crochets around the edge of my table runner. I just wanted the pattern of these trees to be the star of my table runner. All right, so I'm going to use my green swatch that we've been working on to show you how to evenly crochet around the edge of your table runner. So here is the green swatch that we've been working on. Once you have completed as many rows as you would like for your table runner, like I said, the only thing I did is stitch an even row of single crochets. Okay, so I'll start with the chain 1 and we'll just evenly single crochet down the side. And my goal is to go in the sides of the stitches and stitch those single crochets, not in the holes. It's not a set number of stitches. It's just to make it look nice and tidy and look pretty. When you get to the corner, you want to make sure you put 3 single crochets in each of the corners, and that's going to cause it to go smoothly around the edge. All right, so let me get down to this corner real quick. Shouldn't take but a second here since I'm using my swatch. There we go. I'm almost there. Oopsie. Alrighty, so stitching down the side can be a little bit tricky. The key is just to stitch evenly and make it look pretty. Don't bunch up your stitches, but don't let them be far apart, and try not to stitch in these big holes, but in the sides of those stitches. When you get to the corner, just stitch 3 single crochets. There's 1, 2, and 3. And then stitch evenly across the bottom or the top, depending on what corner you're working on. And that'll give you a nice rounded edge for your table runner. All right? So just evenly stitch around the whole thing, and then when you get back, just join back in with a slip stitch and tie off. And here is my completed actual table runner that I stitched up with my cotton yarn in Christmas colors with my trim of single crochets around the edge. And you can see that's why I chose to go with the green yarn, so it wasn't quite so busy. I love the way it looks with the variegated, but it can be a little busy for demonstration. That is our pine tree table runner.